Konnichiwa.
I can't wait for you to come my way. I've been far away, but I'm running just to find a way to you till then.
Freedom Friday e yokoso. Watashi wa Dr. Jackson Nikiba Dish. And I am a confident, bold, inspiring, and worthy leader. So thank you for joining. This is Freedom Friday, the channel that I created allowed me to share with you my journey as I free up the weight of the past to allow me to free up my future. Release the weight of the past to free up my future. I've been sharing with you guys for over a year about my journey, my wellness journey, what's been going on, my travels, and just things that I'm learning along the way. So this week, Freedom Friday, I wanted to share with you just something. First of all, what I want to say is my goal is to every Friday to have a video. And some Fridays it works out, some Fridays it's not working out. And what's going on sometimes when I don't have anything that I feel like that I'm sharing or that I'm being authentic, I'm not sharing as much. So I will work to have more authentic video of what's going on with me so you guys can continue to connect. Thank you for just watching. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for your comments, your feedback. Everything does help. So what I'll start with saying, this Freedom Friday version is just the freedom to be able to allow yourself to keep moving. And what I mean by that is this past week, so there were some goals that I had that I have. And sometimes what's gotten in the way for me is meeting some of my goals and or not being able to balance all of them. So it's like focusing more on one goal and then not giving myself time, space, and energy for the other ones because one goal seems so big and the rest of them are parts of those goals. And what I will share this week, what happened for me was I keep it in the forefront that I don't just have one goal, that I'm not just one thing. Like I'm not just an overweight female. I'm not just a mother. I'm not just all these whatever things that I say I am. All those things or all those words that's used to describe me are a part of who I am. But I am Nikiba. That's who I am. And so Nikiba is a mother. Nikiba is an overweight female. Nikiba is a black female. Nikiba is traveling. I'm looking at so all those things are part of, part of the description of me that you might see or parts of who I am. However, all those different parts doesn't make me any less of a person. And so what I want to share with you, forgive the commentary in the back, or don't forgive it, just whatever, just listen to it. It's what it is. So this week, if you've been watching my channel, I've been working on finding out what works for me. I've, dropped 60 pounds within like about a 6 to 8 month period. And then I gained some weight, and then I kind of stabilized my weight. And so I'm at a point now where some of the goals that I've looked towards meeting, that I've made them, they're not weight loss goals, but they're other goals that's in my life. And so, like I said before, this Freedom Friday is the freedom to keep moving. And so what that means is we have these goals, and the outside person that you see is not necessarily reflective of what the inner person thoughts are. A lot of times we can kind of speculate on what we think it means, like, oh, this person is this, so they're not doing this, or whatever the case is. But we don't see all of the intricacies associated with those individuals. So for me, one of my goals, is to lose weight. My goal, way back when, was to get to 252 pounds. I never made that specific goal. However, in the process of me working towards that goal, there were other things that I realized in terms of the big picture of what my goals are for myself, or my vision, not just goals, my vision for myself. So goals are what you create that allows you to get to the vision that you have for yourself. So before, all I could see myself was as an overweight female, or as a mother. I couldn't see myself as the other parts who make me who I am. And so because that was all I saw, I allowed that to not necessarily cloud my judgment, but to be the thing that I focused on the most. And what you focus on expands. That's one of the things that I've learned from my coach. And so focusing on the weight, I end up not balancing things out for my life the way that I envisioned, because I was so focused on once you get to this particular weight, that's when life opens up. And what I wasn't really grasping the true concept of, other than like if you're trying to get on a ride or you're trying to get somewhere and there's a weight limit or whatever, the weight shouldn't stop you from doing anything that you want to do. It shouldn't stop you from living your life. It shouldn't define you as the person who you are. The weight is just one way people see and one way that people can use to describe you. So for me, that's the thing that I'm learning. And so this week, so I have all these, the vision, one of the visions that part of my vision, not one, part of my vision is to be able to travel the world freely with my daughter. And hey, when I was working towards some of the goals and I started creating these mini goals based on the vision that I saw for myself, I was living small. And so one of the things that I realized, like, hey, I'm living in the vision that I created for myself, which is the opportunity to travel with my daughter. And so I'm in another country on the other side of the world from where I live, and I get a chance to be here, and I get to experience a different culture with her. Both of us are learning Japanese. She's teaching me. I'm failing, not necessarily miserably, but I'm learning, and that's the thing. The experience is what it's about. Sometimes in life we end up spending so much time to planning that we forget to live. And so rather than just saying the freedom to keep moving, it's the freedom to live. And so what that means is we don't allow ourselves the freedom to do things because we're so focused on what goals we didn't meet. But why focus on the goals you didn't meet when you really see like the goals are just a part of the process? Getting to the goals are a part of the process, but while you're working towards those goals, you're still living. And so what I want to share with you is don't allow not meeting particular goals the way that you quote unquote visioned it to stop you from living your life. It doesn't, like if you want to say you're a failure, maybe you a failure in that particular aspect because you didn't meet that particular goal at that time. But don't let that failure be the thing that defines who you are as a person. It's just the person that gets to try out things in life to see what works, to see what doesn't work. And so for me, with the weight loss goal that I have, I didn't meet it. I saw myself working towards it. However, in the process, one of the things that I was doing was not balancing out certain areas in my life. Some of those things were spending more time with my daughter. I have a goal of being a wellness coach. And so this is certification that I've pretty much been putting on the back burner, and I wasn't working towards that because I was so focused on everything else. And then the other part was also just a couple of more goals that I've been working on, like with publishing and things like that. I wasn't necessarily focusing on those because I was so busy on, hey, I gotta lose this weight. And it was like in my mind, I was telling myself if I didn't lose the weight, I couldn't get to the next goal that I was focusing on. But the bigger picture is not that you might not ever get to that particular weight or whatever the goal is, but the bigger picture is, what are you telling yourself you can't do because of this goal that you're attempting to meet? What if you can actually, throughout working towards that goal, what if you can create new plans for yourself that encompasses you meeting those goals as well? And so I feel like when you start learning how to live life without the limits that you place on yourself, you give yourself freedom to do, and you do be experienced, and you also start meeting the goals that you set for yourself. So point in case, I've been working on my fitness goals, which I've been very consistent with them. So working towards working out every day. Rather than defining what I used to do, I define who I am and where I am right now. So I'm working out every day, meeting the goals, but then it's like, if I get this goal, I'm successful today. And if I don't get it, it's successful. So particularly yesterday, I was working on my wellness certification. And I was like, I had somewhere I wanted to go that I planned to go. But in my mind, I was being wish-washy. And then so when it came time for it to go, I was like, well, I'm not going to go because I didn't do this. But the thing is, I had already did what I said I was going to do in terms of the practice. And so when I did the practice and I took my assessment was higher than what it was when I first did it. And so what it did was gave me the flexibility to do what I said I was going to do, which was go out and enjoy. And then it also allowed me the opportunity to enjoy myself. And so what happened for me was I'm so used to like getting these step goals and getting all this other stuff out. So yesterday I was not even focusing on them, because usually that's what I wake up and I think about. And then when I got in, I think last night, I think throughout the day or throughout the night, I got like a notification that I met my step goals. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I wasn't even paying attention, but it didn't hit me that I had another goal that was associated with that I was working towards. And I was like, oh man, I didn't do it. And so when I opened up my app today, lo and behold, I met the goal. And the way I met that goal was through living my life. Like, I spent less time focusing on the why I couldn't do it, and I found a reason to do it. So that's what I just wanted to share. Like, we have the freedom to live our life. We have the freedom to find what works for you, and to have a great balance for what it is that you have. Like, your vision is the life that you want for yourself. When you live in your vision on a daily basis, everything ends up happening because you're focusing on those. You know, the goals are the tools that you use to see how far along you are. But those goals actually change, and they evolve into something better as you see what you're doing. When you find what works for you, you hold on to it. If you find something doesn't work, maybe you want to explore a little bit as why it's not working out for you. Like, where does it fit in your vision for yourself? And a lot of times, sometimes our goals aren't aligned with our real visions. They're just tasks that we set on ourselves to do. But if the vision is the vision, those little goals that you have along the way, if they're not aligned with your vision, it's harder for you to be able to allow it to connect you to what you want for yourself. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Like we get to continue to live our life. We get to continue to release ourselves for some of the limits that we put on ourselves that tells us that we can't do until we accomplish this part. So feel free to live, feel free to make mistakes, feel free to learn, feel free to grow. That's what it's about. Like, each day that you live is a gift and an opportunity to stay in your vision. So that's what I wanted to share. Thank you for watching. Enjoy next week. Bye.